Excellent morning, fantastic evening, and wonderful evening wherever, afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. This is Carla from MindPlore with Carla and Friends, and I am here to speak to you about the topic now, today, which is getting into the now, getting into the present moment, and making that more important than what has happened even a minute ago or will happen in 2 minutes. I am absolutely thrilled to have Pastor Billy back from Nigeria. I think he returned over the weekend. I have Victor Irving Jenkins here, who was later than normal, so I wasn't sure he was going to make it. And Huzaifa Ahmed, who has turned off his camera. Please turn it on, Huzaifa. He's an 11-year-old boy who says he had so much fun when he comes here that he wants to come here on a regular basis. So I figured while he finds it fun, I'll give him the link and he can decide whether he's coming now, coming that day or not, and we'll just take it one day, one show at a time. Having said that, I want to remind people that being in the now is exactly what I'm saying. It's now. Someone can upset you, like Pastor Billy was doing a great job for a little while, but that moment is past, and I know how wonderful it is. And I could worry about a moment, the next moment when Gayathri will be introducing herself and giving out some quotes, but it doesn't do me any good to worry about it, because the only thing that is real is the moment we are in right this moment. This moment is what's most important. Having said that, Gayathri, I think is getting clearer on what she needs to do, and I know that I need to be more proactive in my own training. So I'm going to give the mic over to Gayathri. And Huzaifa, I really would like to see that handsome face as she begins the show with 2 or 3 quotes, hopefully. Hi, Gayathri.
Hello, Carla. Hey, Victor, Pastor Billy, and Huzaifa. A very warm welcome to everyone to MindPlore with Carla and her friends. If you want to be happy, do not dwell in the past, do not worry about the future, focus on living fully in the present. What was Roy Bennett thinking when he said that? He probably experienced that if you don't live in the moment, then in all probability, you're missing out on something very important. And I completely agree with this statement because, as shared in the previous chapter of this particular segment about living in the present, I spoke about my regrets and how I overcame that and how I managed to start living in the present. And as a meditation practitioner, I completely resonate with what Amit Ray says in Om Chanting and Meditation. He says, if you want to conquer the anxiety of life, live in the moment, live in the breath. Living in the breath is what we call being in Anapan Sthiti. Observe everything as a witness, not getting entangled. Something that our very dear Pastor Billy was just talking about before we came online. And I'm going to ask him to explain us the word that he mentioned. Yes, Carla.
Where are the quotes? Or did you
Carla, I just shared the quotes.
okay.
I shared a quote by Amit Ray from the book Om
We'll
Chanting
talk
and
later.
Meditation.
We'll talk later. Thanks. Okay, Pastor Billy.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
Well,
what do you have to add to the conversation? What does be here now mean to you? Introduce yourself quickly first and then explain what the meaning of be here now means to you.
yeah, Pastor Billy, as Carla affectionately refers me to, Pastor Billy, and I am a international Christian humanitarian. I'm also a pastor in New York City. I've been doing this about 50 years, and living in the moment means taking every opportunity to bless the people that you're with, whether it's an individual or whether it's with a crowd, or even if it's with yourself, to live in the moment. And the reason that I was asked to mention before we went on air related to why people should no longer bother you, and I call it imperturbability. I know that's a big word for it's a big word for me because I'm just a high school graduate. And but imperturbability means that you don't let anybody perturb you. And what does it mean to be perturbed? It means to be bothered in the English language. When someone perturbs you, Perturb, it means that you're bothered by someone else's actions, someone else's words. And if you're imperturbable, it means that you're not bothered by that. So if someone is yelling at you, if someone is disappointed in you, so I encourage people on the call here today, however you're joining us, Facebook or however, through MindPlore, that you reach the level of imperturbability, that no one bothers you, that you're on the up and up, and that people will not bother you, whatever they say. And so that's why I say in our little chat room, I say, quote, work to reach the level of imperturbability. This is a place where no one perturbs you, period, end of quote. This is where no one bothers you, whether it's Carla or Victor or whoever. Don't be bothered by people, okay? Just love people. And, that's really the message of, if I may say, that's the message of really the message of Jesus is to love one another and to love people and to love your neighbor, right? Do unto others. That's the golden rule. Do unto others as they would have, as they would do unto you. So it's not do unto others before they do unto you. I know Victor's laughing about that. So, but love your neighbor, love everyone, and of course, love yourself. Back to you.
Can I add something to it? I have a question for you. Many people say that when you stop being bothered by another person, it could be me, it could be anyone, or you may get bothered, but you move forward very quickly. That's in the state of enlightenment. Would you agree, Doctor? I'm having trouble. Pastor Billy.
Yeah. Well, I don't call it enlightenment. You could call it self-actualization, which Dr. Abraham Maslow talks about in his hierarchy of needs. But if I may say, using my worldview, when you love other people, when people do not bother you, whatever they say, it's really living the life of Jesus Messiah. Hello. And where people don't bother you, and you can rejoice. You can live a joyful life where people are not bothering you. I mean, why be discouraged by what other people are saying to you? Okay, whether it's the person at the supermarket, or or it's your spouse, it's your friend, it's your partner, it's your significant other. Just, if they say something that you don't like, just hug them and love them and say, I love you. I love you. There you go. Back to you.
And actually, I agree with that totally. Because when we're talking about being caring for another person, or even giving love to another person, that's being in the moment.
Yeah.
And not thinking, oh, 2 minutes ago, someone yelled at me or corrected me and I didn't want to be corrected. Well, it's true. Sometimes you don't want to be corrected. But being offended by it and thinking, oh no, I did the worst thing in the world, keeps you back in the past moment.
Yes.
And not in the present moment. Victor.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll hear from our little brainy child last, but what do you want to say on this topic?
As you attempt to live in the moment, I want to point out that your worldview actually controls that.
Mm.
Even in the Bible, it encourages you to live in the moment. Now, how does the Bible do that? Pastor Billy knows the Bible much better than I. However, there's one verse in the Bible that absolutely, without a doubt, sells me on living in the moment. In Hebrew 11:1, that absolutely.
Go on, Victor. I had a technical glitch. It's taking.
In Hebrew 11:1, often people miss the first word in that chapter. Now, I remember the chapter saying something like, faith is the evidence of things hoped for and the substance. No, it's the evidence of things not seen and the substance of things hoped for. The first word was left up because the first word said, now. Now faith is the evidence of things not seen and the substance of things hoped for. For me, the single greatest decision that you can make, the single greatest direction that you can go in living in the now, is deciding what you are going to think about right now. Because what you think about, you bring about. You take that and wrap that whole thing up into your self-image. And are you a person that's triggered? No, I'm not. Are you a person that takes over conversations? No, I'm not. Are you a person that alienates other people? No, I'm not. You see, I think those things constantly, one now after the other. So anytime you're talking to me, or anytime I'm in existence, I am always cognizant of the fact that now faith is. And you know what? Whatever the moment's bringing me, whether at the moment I can grasp it as something good, it doesn't make any difference because another one's going to come right after. You know, I can go on for about a week. So
yeah. Well, and then Victor, I just happened to mention this. The word now spelled backwards is one. W-O-N. I know you'd appreciate that. So when you're living in the now, you've already won. There you go.
Okay, I thought you said one, and I'm thinking, where? Now I get it. Great. You're right. You've won when you are in the now. It's a very important topic. Huzaifa, what do you want to say before this becomes a conversation?
Well, I just want to add on that whatever you all said is pretty true. And I've also gathered up some quotes. So, living in the moment or making every moment count for me means to live it properly, which means, in simple words, to cherish everything and live your life like you want it to. Most people get influenced by what other people say, and they get influenced, and then they don't carry on with their lives like they want to. I have living examples near me in my relatives and in some people I live with. But that's what I'm trying to say to everyone who is in the panel and who is watching, that whenever someone criticizes you or says you to do something or points out something that you've done wrong, you have to control your anger. I know I'm being criticized all the time, obviously by my parents and my grandparents, and I sometimes get so angry about it that I don't even want to talk to them about it. And a minute later, I end up talking to them. So you won't stop yourself from doing something that you don't want to. Instead, you should use this power, you should use this anger as an influence to correct yourself and to make yourself better. So, in living in the moment, you should cherish and be happy. Cherish everything that you have. Don't look at someone and say, oh, they have more than me. Oh, he's so rich. I'm so poor. I can't even compare myself to them. So if you can't compare, then why are you comparing? So that is what it means to live in the moment for me. And just remember that living in the moment is more than just a sentence. It is a lot. When you realize, when you talk to yourself and say, now is the time I change myself. Now is the time everything ends, or now is the time my journey begins. So then is when you realize that your journey had begun long ago, but the actual power or the actual race inside you has just started. So don't stop just because of people or just because of some things that are holding you back. Go on with your life, go on with your journey, and carry on. Back to you.
Well, it's not back to me because this is a conversation. And now that everyone has said something, hearing that conversation and the thoughts and people just popping in and popping out of the conversation is what needs to happen. Huzaifa, you're saying that you get angry at people. I think we all do it sometime, even though we may think, oh, I'm living in the moment and I can deal with anything. We can't always do that. We need to be able to move forward. And that goes for people who are 11 years old, or maybe someone 100 years old, or 50, or 60. Don't say, oh, I'm going to be happy all the time, and I'm never going to get angry, and I'm never going to get depressed. You get depressed, be there for a little while. It'll go away because nothing stays around forever. Everything is changing from moment to moment to moment. And that, that includes everyone here. No one is more important than anyone else. And no one is more of a leader than anyone else. Everyone has their own way of doing things. I'm now adjusting not having Jean here, and Gayathri does things differently. I don't get angry. I'm just getting used to a different way of handling things. And being in the moment, sometimes I'm not always there. Or maybe I am there and I'm expressing what I need to express. So, getting angry at your grandparents or your mom and dad, it's perfectly all right. Does it last for long? Are you angry for weeks on end? Or is it just a
No, it's not like that because I can be, because all of that I know now is taught by my parents, and whenever I am angry or I don't like what they criticizes about me, so I just sometimes realize and sometimes talk to myself about it and think different things. At first, I think I'm not gonna talk to them anymore, and they'll realize. And then after just like 2 seconds, I'm realizing if my parents stop talking to me instead of me not talking to them, will I be even able to live? So it goes away pretty fast, and you can't say anything. Depression and anger and all these emotions, and these are part of life. Living these moments sad
We lost your voice.
in life. Make every moment count, and living each moment like it is all that life demands from you. As a roller coaster, live it and be happy. You enjoy it more than you've enjoyed anything else. So that's pretty true. And I've even heard someone reading a book, and in the book it said that if someone offers you a hand to a roller coaster, a crazy roller coaster, or the craziest spaceship ever, don't hesitate. Just hold their hand and go on, because you're already in the craziest of roller coasters every second. So what it means is that we're living in a roller coaster. We're living in a world of lies. We're living in a world of truth. There are some up and downs in the world in our lives, but that's what we have to go through in order to achieve something.
And that's very true. And I think Pastor Billy can speak to that, because we all go through those moments. We all feel sometimes very happy and sometimes not so happy.
And you can't deny it. If you try to deny it, you're just gonna deny the fact that you are even living. If you try to deny someone's death, unfortunately, just imagine someone died and you're really, really sad and you just don't want to accept it. You'll find yourself sitting somewhere alone and stuck in your life. Moments will pass on, weeks, days, seconds, hours. Time will pass on. Time is the only thing that can't wait for you. It's something that will not wait for you. You have to run a long time. In the world, you can make anything run behind you and move forward if you put your mind to it. But time is the only thing that doesn't wait for anyone, and you have to move beside it. So live every moment you can. And if you try to deny any sadness or any emotion or anything that has happened bad in your life, you'll find yourself stuck in your life so bad that you won't even be able to carry on with your life. So if you're sad, just think of positive things, just think of happy things that are happening in your life. Like if someone passed on, and I know when someone will, something like that will happen, you'll probably stay stunned for a little moment. But when you regain consciousness, the first thing you should do is think about the people that are now left in your life. Is think about the things that are now in your life. Is thinking about how you are gonna carry on your life in a positive way. Whenever negative emotions come to you, the only way to counter them is with positive thinking. So you can't deny any emotion. You can't deny anything. Just be happy, be who you are, and live your life like a life and not like a burden.
Thank you, Huzaifa, because that's true. We are born every moment, and we are different every moment. Pastor Billy, you have a big smile on your face. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I love what our friend Huzaifa just said, and I hope and pray I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And you're right on. You're right on. And God has given you a lot of wisdom in your young age. I just want to learn more from you. So, way to go. We just appreciate everything you've said. And even in what you said, you lived in the moment. So you lived in the now and you won. You won. There it is.
And the truth is about living in the now, as he just did, we all are. Only if we're not aware of it, we get stuck in the past because maybe I said something to offend Pastor Billy or Huzaifa, and I worry about that for the next 24 hours. It doesn't do any good.
Yeah, you did say something that offended me, but because I've reached the level of imperturbability like our brother Victor has, and all the other panel members, that I don't even remember what you said. So move on, right? Live in
Right.
the move on. Yeah.
But you also know that if I say something like that, I really don't mean it.
I think what Pastor Billy is saying is even if you meant it, it doesn't matter. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Oh,
hey, I love you,
doesn't
and
matter.
Hey, and if you spell move, we've talked about move on. The first two letters, if you spell move backwards, are EVO, or the first three letters, and that talks about what is Evo? It's evolution. So we need to evolve into a positive sphere. There you go. Sorry for all these words backwards, but I'm kind of a backwards kind of guy.
So am I. Talking about being backwards, do you have any tips that help someone remember to move on? You talk to a lot of people, and I'm sure you tell them often, hey, it's time to move on.
Yeah, here's the big word: forgiveness. I've been forgiven a lot, and we need to just live a life of forgiveness, live a life of gratefulness, live a life of appreciation for everyone you meet today. Live a life of forgiveness. Look, we're all crawling and scratching our way to a higher level, right? I want to be better after this MindPlore than I was before the MindPlore. And because of the input from all of you, I hope I will be a better person, that I'm going to love people in a better way. So forgiveness, bang, bang. That's the key. I saw Victor there giving a cheer for forgiveness.
Now, does forgiveness also mean not necessarily the other person, but yourself for your mistakes?
Of course it does. Yeah, I live a life of forgiveness because I'm married to the same woman for 43 years and 5 children, 5 spouses, 9 grandchildren. I'm a very high profile person. I'm always in the news about the work that I'm doing, even when I was just recently in Nigeria. And what you want to say a comment about the humanitarian work I'm doing? That's fine. And then just if they're negative about what I did, then I'm going to love them regardless, right? And I'm sure that Victor has a word to say about forgiveness.
Okay.
Yeah, forgiveness, I just want to add on, forgiveness is a big thing. If someone is asking for forgiveness, they're doing a big favor. Because in this world nowadays, no one asks if even someone does something wrong, and even if they know it, they're not mostly sorry for it. They will be, but they won't gather up the courage to say it to you. So if someone is saying the legendary word sorry, you need to accept it. Even in I am a Muslim, so in the Quran it says that forgiveness is a gift that you can give, and there will be no greater gift for humanity than forgiveness. So forgiveness is a big thing. It's something that we can go on and on. We can create 4 MindPlore sessions on forgiveness, and it's a big thing.
Forgiveness is actually something that you give yourself. You forgive someone so that you will be free of the offense that you think that they gave you. Certainly forgiveness is a gift to the world, but when I forgive, I'm being selfish. I'm forgiving for me. When I don't forgive, I'm carrying around unflattering thoughts about a person in my mind, my wonderful mind. I'm carrying around pain and hurt. So I just as soon forgive the person. I forgive them and I stop thinking about it. And my worldview dictates that what you think about, you bring about, so that if I choose to carry unforgiveness around in my heart and my mind, I create an environment that will attract other things for me to be unforgiving about. And if I'm going to live in the moment, being unforgiving is just really not pleasant. And I'm selfish that way, because whatever it takes for me to feel like I feel right now, which is fantastic, that is what I'm going to think. That is what I'm going to meditate on. That is who I'm going to be. Because ultimately, no matter what else I do in life, if I'm not feeling good, there's no point in being here. And it's important that that frame of mind, that way of looking at the world permeates my entire being, even when others might say, why, that's selfish. Well, if it's selfish, that's just one of the ways, another way in which I am not perfect. Now, if you have been able to eliminate selfishness, chances are that you have something else that's wrong that you're not noticing. So yeah, it might be selfish for me to make sure and feel good all the time. But if I don't fly my flag, if I don't croak my own pawn, well, who's going to do it? And of course, by me doing that, I encourage others to do the same. And when you get right down to it, you're listening to me now, but everything that I'm saying is coming through the filter of your worldview. Some of what I'm saying, you might not receive it like how I'm saying it, but that's okay, because you are receiving it just like you want to. And Martin Luther King once said, I will let no man drag me down as low as to hate them. And I ascribe to that policy. I'm going to feel pretty good. And if you do something that ascribed as rude or unfriendly, well, I'm just going to chalk that up to the fact that you haven't yet found out the secret. And the secret is, whatever you think it is what it is. So I'm going to think it's something good. And the best that I can do is help you understand that whatever it is that's about me that's affecting you, it's really not me. It's what you are thinking about me. And as I have said before, I could go on for a week, because I think about this stuff all the time. I don't only think about it in MindPlore. And I encourage others, when they hear a quote or a saying, don't just listen to the quote when you hear the quote, embrace it. When I say what you think about, you bring about, live there, be there all day long. And when you monitor what you're thinking, monitor how you're thinking, coordinate that with how you're feeling. Because what you think about, you do bring about. And if you don't feel like how you like to feel, then quit thinking about what you're thinking about.
Yep, that's pretty true. And just want to add on to forgiveness that forgiveness, as I already said, is something legendary. And for our backward person, Mr. William, if you say the word forgive you backwards and just take forgive first, you're gonna get give for you. So giving, it's like forgiving is like giving for yourself. And if someone asks for forgiveness, or you think you should forgive someone and you don't, it's not gonna affect their lives that much. They're gonna be sorry for that, their lives. What's the most they can do? They will just think about you and they move on with their lives. But what's gonna affect you is that you didn't forgive them, and after some time you will be thinking, it's true. Even if you don't want to.
Very good thoughts, Huzaifa. I'm so happy you have so much to say. But I also want to pass it on to Gayathri. You are just adding so much, but we want everyone to have a chance to talk, okay? We'll come back to you, but you need to remember that. Thank you. Gayathri, what would you like to say about being here?
I think I'm more of a spectator for this particular show, so I'd like to listen to what Huzaifa said.
I also would like to hear what you have to say.
I think I'll listen. Please,
I'll listen. Gayathri, please respect what I just said. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
So I think if Huzaifa can complete his point, I can take it forward.
I would like you to do as I asked, please. Even if it's 5 words, Gayathri, please do it, and I'll go back to Huzaifa.
Well, I think whatever Huzaifa is speaking about forgiveness or what everybody has been talking about, I completely agree with that. I resonate with those thoughts. So I don't think I have much to add at the moment.
You do, because you are your individual person. That is why you are here, and that's why I'm asking you. Please.
I think when it comes to living in the moment, I think we tend to get distracted from the point every now and then, because when we talk about living in the moment, we tend to talk about 10 different things except about living in the moment. During COVID-19 pandemic, if there was one thing that happened, it was this. All those people who were talking about living in the moment, they had nothing to say because nobody wanted to live in that moment. Everybody was hoping for a better future. Everybody was praying for a better future. There were some people who had planned their lives with future in mind of how their life would be in case of an adversity. So while living in the present is definitely way forward, worrying about what future would be like is not something that would be recommended. Having said that, it is important that while we are living in the present, we make sure that it is constructive. Constructive in the sense that maybe we are not dwelling in the past, but we are learning from the mistakes we made in the past. Maybe we are not worrying about the future, but the least we can do is that we plan for a future in a way that while we are living in the present, we make the best of we live that moment to the best of our abilities, thereby constructing, laying the foundation for a strong future. At this point, I would just like to give example of a Chinese bamboo tree. Are you all aware of a Chinese bamboo tree?
A little.
I saw the movie.
Okay, so there is this, the whole idea of Chinese bamboo tree is that when you plant that tree, you can nurture it, you water it regularly. For nearly 4.5 years, all you see is one foot high plant, or 3 feet high plant, not higher than that, 4 feet at the max. And then we kind of wonder what is happening. Why is it not growing? I'm nurturing it, I'm watering it regularly. What is happening? And then one fine day, suddenly it starts growing at the speed of 38 inches every minute. You practically see that tree grow, and it grows as tall as 60 feet tall. They're the tallest trees in the world on our planet. What was happening for that 4.5 years that it was dormant? It didn't feel like anything was happening. During that 4.5 years, that Chinese bamboo tree was growing its roots, was making its foundation strong. It was living in the moment, but it was planning for that future that it was going to experience rapid growth. For experiencing that rapid growth, to make sure that that tall height can be sustained, it is essential for that Chinese bamboo tree to make sure that the foundation is strong. So the roots have to spread, they have to hold ground. That is how it sustains that rapid growth and that tall height. And that is what we need to do with our present, is what I think.
And you just gave us some knowledge that's very important. I know I like to step back and just listen, which I did a lot when Jean was here. Please turn on your mic, Gayathri.
Yes.
You're a part of the show, and I want you to be a part. So if I bring you in, there's a reason for it. You just need to trust me and just not say, I want to just listen. Okay?
Okay.
I don't want to offend you, but I also want to be very honest with you. There's a reason for that request, and I really need you to do it. And you just gave us some really beautiful knowledge. And we would have missed it if I hadn't insisted. Okay. You want to respond to that, Pastor Billy? Because that was such great news about the bamboo tree. Even as we are growing as individuals, as we grow, we begin very small with very little awareness. Well, probably greater awareness. We just don't express it. And we lose it because everyone says, don't do that. You're going to get hurt if you do that. And stay away from this and stay away. And we're listening and listening and listening. What do you think we should be doing? Should we just listen to people? Or should we listen to what we're hearing inside?
Yeah, Carla, I think we need to do both. It's not a or, it's a both and. So we need to listen to what people are saying to us. And then we also need to listen to ourselves. How am I responding? And that's really the focus of our conversation today, is living in the moment. So oftentimes we think we're listening to people, but we're really not, right? We're doing other things and we're distracted. And yet when we live in the moment, we're living in that person's moment, but we're also living in my moment. And then when you take the two of those things, even though they may be opposite of one another, let's pull them together, right? Let's pull them together and then respond positively to what they're saying, and then respond positively to what you're hearing inside your heart and life. And there is, I think everybody on the panel today would agree in our conversation, there is enough toxicity in the world today here on planet Earth. There's craziness, there's chaos, there's a lot of ugliness. So how can we bring beauty to every conversation, and not only bring beauty to the other person, but bring beauty to ourselves? It's like, you know, if you eat a diet of fast food every day, if you go to a fast food place and all you're eating is bad food 3 meals a day, and I'm sure that some of you have seen the film Super Size Me, that there was a guy that ate fast food for 30 days and he went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, if you don't stop your diet, you're going to die. Your liver has turned to mush and you cannot process that. Well, think about the things that come into our life, right? How are we processing them? And then think about our self-talk. How do we talk to ourselves? Are we being positive with ourselves, regardless of our condition? So that's my quick response, and would love to have other people's interaction in our conversation today on living in the moment.
And I love what you just said. It's important not to be comparing ourselves with others and saying, oh, you're not good enough because you didn't say this or you didn't say that. Instead of saying, hey, I have something to give, and sharing what I have to give. And if I let one person overtake the conversation, I'm not giving everyone else a chance. Victor?
Why did you have to call me just after saying that? Mm.
Because I know you haven't been.
Okay.
But it
so
wasn't your mouth that I was necessarily only talking to.
Yes. So before Victor starts, Victor, today in India, we celebrate this festival of Raksha Bandhan, which is a festival for brothers and sisters, wherein the sisters tie Rakhi, a thread on brother's forearm, in a hope that the brother will take care of her for the rest of her life and protect her. So I think if there is a war of words, you are that brother who can protect me under any situation, in any circumstances. So here's wishing you happy Raksha Bandhan, happy Rakhi. And now you can speak, my brother. You can speak now.
Can we?
And see, I matched with you without really knowing the telepathy. I'm matching with you, even with the color.
And even in saying that, can we say happy Raksha Bandhan to all the guys who are here and outside?
We could do that. We could do that. Pastor Billy, Huzaifa. Huzaifa would be the little brother to everyone. And Pastor Billy would be the big brother to everyone.
But keeping in mind what you just said, it's not size, it's wisdom.
It's wisdom, yes.
And actually, Huzaifa is here because he says, I have so much fun when I come. I'm going to keep on coming. And I'm like, I'm not going to say no. But the whole point is, if we don't share our wisdom of all ages, and we let one person share wisdom, we're missing out on what MindPlore is all about. And it's not just you, Gayathri, it's everyone. Having said that, Victor, you can open your mouth again. And my little brother, Krishna, may be coming over to talk again. Come on, Krishna. Go on.
You have a little brother?
He has 4 legs and a tail and 2 ears.
I want to point out that we are actually never talking with anybody except ourselves, because when you are like when I listen to you, it comes through this filter of this thing that I have called the mind. And that mind has a habit of doing certain things, and it doesn't matter where the input comes from, that mind is going to do that. Sometimes when people listen to you and they have an emotion of some kind, in my view, they haven't really mastered the translation that occurs between people. Because like my feeling, no matter what I feel towards you, I experience the feeling. No matter what I translate your words as, I'm the one that's hearing it, because often you don't mean the things that I'm hearing. Your true growth, I believe the true growth occurs when we are alone. When we hear a quote that resonates with us at the moment we hear it, oh yeah, oh that's great, yeah man, I agree with that. But an hour later, when you have an opportunity to apply that quote, you don't do it. So the times when we are alone is when we actually do our growth. When I say so many times, what you think about, you bring about. When I'm alone, I am disciplining what I'm thinking about to such a degree, you would be bored, because I'm just thinking the same thoughts over and over and over. I love everybody. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I love myself. I love myself. I've got a group of thoughts that I feed into my mind daily, minute by minute by minute, so that when I'm actually hearing from somebody else articulate their thoughts, the thoughts that I have translates what they're saying into something that I could be excited about. And believe me, I'm truly excited about being alive. I'm truly excited about being on this show. And in fact, the reason I'm on this show, Carla, is because of what I've been telling myself all these years and years and years. I believe that I was born to do something great. And the second part is I haven't done it yet. Because if I had done it, I would not be here anymore. I would be gone. So I'm still doing something great. And the internet, the technical world that we live in, makes it possible for a person like me to take his thought and transfer it all over the world. Just like you are on your show, you got all these followers and they have followers. You'd be amazed at how many people are impacted by something that goes on this show. And I tell you what, if I have anything to do with it, they'll continue to be impacted. So I'm living in the moment. And the moment that I'm living in is I'm on the stage and millions of people are going, yay, Victor, yay, Victor. And I can't wait for when they all shout my mantra back at me, because I'm better than I was, not as good as I'm going to be. And earlier, Pastor Billy was talking about how he wanted to be better after the show. Pastor Billy, it is impossible not to be better after the show, because anything that you do over and over and over, you can't help but get better at it. And it doesn't matter what that thing is. That thing could be seeing, it could be singing, it could be being on the show. You have to get better. So yes, Pastor Billy, you're better. And of course, I've been practicing getting better at knowing when to shut up. I still practice that today.
Now, what you say is so very important. I had two voices going on besides mine. I was listening to you, and the cat was going, yeah, yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys could hear the cat, but I think he was saying, Victor, you are right. He had a lot to say.
We should add the cat to the panel. Because it looks like when you are talking, it looks like that they really want to share their thoughts as well.
Well, he wants to, but I can't always translate for him correctly. But the importance, the cat is absolutely nuts today, and I don't know why. My usual routine was a little different today. But the point is, the more we share of who we are and what we are about, the more we're going to grow. And the more we will begin enjoying life more. Pastor Billy, do you have any last words?
I say this to people all the time, live in the moment, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it, because I thank God, I thank Jesus Messiah that I've reached a level of imperturbability, and it's something I have to do every day and every moment. Thank you for having me on MindPlore today.
You are more than welcome. Victor, very short, very brief. What would your closing remarks be? And less than 5 minutes, please.
Oh, I can do it in less than 5 seconds. I've recently heard a song that goes like this. Keep me in the moment. Keep me in the moment. Lord, keep me in the moment. I don't want to miss what you have for me.
Love it. Huzaifa, very short. What do you want to say?
Just want to add that as we are taking this session, even now we're living in the moment and we are all enjoying our life. So for this topic, the best thing to say right now is life is short, time is fast, you'll keep growing, the world is vast, there will be no replays, no rewind. So just enjoy the moment, just enjoy your life, do what you have been doing till now, and be who you are. Live the moment.
And along with that, would you tell people to forget about comparing yourself with the person next to you?
Yeah.
Good. Gayathri?
Live in the moment. Don't worry about the future, but make sure that you are sowing the seeds for the future. So make sure the seeds are good. That's all I would say.
Okay. And what I want to say is, people, forget about your regrets. It's already done. Don't worry about what's coming up in the next minute or two, because we don't know. But what we do know,
Yeah, we could know. Just imagine if we could know everything that would happen in life. Would we be excited about getting a new gift? Would we be excited about buying a new car? Would we be excited about something that new? Would we be excited about the results of our exam or the results of something that we worked hard for? It won't be happy. It won't be the happiness. So don't even think of, if you ever get a wish, don't even think of wishing for knowing everything, knowing the future, because you'll end up regretting it. And I said something yesterday to that I used to remember living in the moment and taking each moment as life. That imagine life as a river and take a little portion of that river in your hand. The rest of the water will keep flowing and that little portion will flow off, and you cannot touch that little portion of water once that has flowed along with the river. You'll have to touch another part of the water if you want your hands to get wet.
Preach!
The water might be dirty. Sometimes it might be the purest water you've ever touched.
Yeah!
So that river will keep flowing off on and on and on. Your hand won't stop it. So that river is life. And that dirtiness in the river is some negative emotion and some complexities in your life. And that pure part that you will hold in your hand is how you handle and tackle things, and that's who you are.
Thank you so very much, Huzaifa. We need to end the show now. And I want to thank you for your words. I want everyone to stay for maybe a minute or two after the show for those who are on the panel. For those who are outside and watching, I want to thank you for coming. You can also watch the show on Giggle Fest University on YouTube. And I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. We're growing it now, and it would be nice to have everyone there also. Okay, guys, let's wave goodbye. And we are going to go now. Bye, everyone.
Take care, be who you are, live in